literally the Beninginning.
The first one.
Yeah.
I think it's the part where it's okay to embrace it in the moment. So, for example,
We never pass Allen. We never pass. How do you know how to do it? So, very rare helicopter. You see so much grass, you tell yourself, I now name you Grace.
You convert your grace to Grace because
it was just the normal process.
Yep.
I feel like what we call failure is just an inevitable part of life.
reaching
For things that are not necessary because you've deemed failure as an inevitable.
Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to
the FailProof
podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
We are quite new at this, but we'll get better.
Quite
it's a process.
new is an understatement. This is literally the Beninginning.
The Beninginning.
The
first one.
Yeah, but we're excited.
Yeah.
We're very excited. I feel like this is the visible Beninginning, but there have been multiple Beninginnings before now.
What?
Bro!
Forgot to introduce ourselves as the rookies that we are.
Yes.
You first.
My name is Abimbola.
Yep.
Abimbola, aka Pepe.
AKA Bola.
Sorry. I apologize. Apologies. Yeah, my name is Abimbola. And
my name is Dipo.
Yeah. And we are the bringers, the creators of the FailProof podcast. Quickly, how did we get here? Right.
So we started on a trip.
That's one of the Beninginnings, yes.
Yeah, that's the Beningining.
No, do you know? I think it might not even be the original Beningining. Do you know why? You remember when we were talking and then we now went back, I shared my blog. And then we now realized that at some point I already even wrote about it. I'm realizing. See, let me tell you something. This thing is, God is beautiful. I feel like at multiple stages, there's been seed sown and it just came together now.
Yeah.
So there's the visible appearances of it. But if you check, you've been having multiple conversations.
Yeah. So so she had a blog site a long time ago. And then I was taking a look at it and I saw an article that she had written about the essence or the purpose of this this podcast. So let's take it as the first Beninginning. The second one would be one of the Beningings. The second one probably be the so we're on a group trip to Europe. That's why I met Abimbola, by the way. I'm sure if you guys listen to us, probably think that we are lifelong friends.
This trip was
our first time meeting.
April 2024.
Yeah. And then on one of the days, let's shout out our Globetrotters in case you're trying to travel, in case you're trying to see the world.
With cool people.
Yeah, just reach out to them. There are Globetrotters on Instagram.
Yeah.
The trip was mind blowing. It was literally these guys handpicked the best people and put them on the trip because it was actually like family. It's not like all those fintechs that Jenna say, well, my family here. No,
it was for real.
Actually like it. It was like people that were just friends that were on a trip.
Yeah.
So on one of those days, we're having a conversation about, it started from Nigeria. Everything usually, this country is tough. It started from Nigeria and then we're kind of comparing our experience as Nigerians to what we had seen across Europe. We were in Paris for a while, Barcelona, and then I think we went to 2 other countries.
Yeah. Portugal.
Yeah. So we're comparing how things just worked. And I think on that day, heater was bad and then somebody had come and had fixed it.
And they were so nice about it. They knew it was their job.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, sorry about that. It's done now. Everything is well. We're like, really?
In Nigeria.
Moved out. What the one fix generator in
No, so it was different. And we're just talking about and then we started talking about ourselves, right? And all the things that we had tried, and then things that we had also failed at.
Emphasis on we, because I am not an entrepreneur at all, but serial entrepreneur. So
unfortunately for me.
Several businesses started, several domain names under his belt.
Yep.
Belt heavyweight champion.
Shout out to Ghost, by the way. Ghost, as they are the ones that are taking up my domain money. So I had tried my hands on several things from years back. So I always say that I'm like the poster boy for failure. If you are looking for someone that's failed at a lot of things, it's me. So we started talk about those businesses, and then I think we just conversation just we encouraged ourselves, and then the conversation just died there. And then we came back to Nigeria, and on one of those days when I was feeling like I needed to rant, I went on my Instagram.
So that's another Beninginning.
Mm-hmm. So it was just, I think all these things was just God connecting dots, to be honest. It was just connecting dots. And then I just gone on my story and I was talking about how I wish a lot more people were comfortable about talking about their failure. So the culture here is that, you go underground, you hustle, you do a few things, you fail at a lot of things, and then you have one success, and then you come out and you carry it as your...
Blind everybody with your lights.
Exactly. Like, and then when people ask you, how did you get here? It's like...
You omit all the failures.
All the failures. And like, just be persistent, grind hard, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. And grace. Celebrate grace. It's just God's grace. You know, I find it so deceiving because there is nobody in Africa that has that story. That, you went from grass to grace in one day. Never.
I don't know why that phrase is popular. Actually,
because it's usually a lot of grass before you see grace.
You see so much grass, you tell yourself, I now name you Grace.
You convert your grace to grace by force because like nobody has that story. So why do we paint that picture? Why do our billionaires come out and say, I started this business because my uncle... Perspiration. Yeah, aspire to perspire. I'm Maguire.
Yeah, so I saw your rant and so this is just continuing. And my response to that was like, imagine if we have a community of people just coming to talk about the things they failed at. And for me at that point, it wasn't like for a noble cause that, because I want people to know how to succeed better. No, it's because I really felt like I needed company. I had failed at so many things, but I knew that people don't allow you to talk about your failure without feelings of shame. In fact, I think the failure that was the most prominent in my mind when I was doing that was like moving back from the UK. And we were like, did you fail out there? Yes, God damn it. I cannot, But anyway, so that was just get a community of people talk about it. And it was like, that's a good idea. People like, you should do something about it. I'm like, bro, no, I'm telling you so that you do. You know that Spider-Man meme that the guy is like,
so I'm like, Abimbola, you have to do it. And then we kept tossing it back and forth. And then I think I was like, okay. So if I find, since I'm the domain name expert, I'm like, if I find a name for this and find a domain, will you agree to do it? And she's like, oh yes, she'll give it a shot. And I mean,
I think in less than 30 minutes, actually the speed with which we exchanged like possible names, we checked. Does this exist? Does this not exist? We found the domain name. Oh, this actually exists. Everything just felt like papa, which is why I was saying the multiple Beninginnings over time just came to a good place at that point. Because and you know, since then we've had a lot of conversations with multiple people. And I've never had to talk for too long before someone is like, bro, that's so relatable. Exactly. You know, we should do that. And maybe we can just segue into that. Just the proofs.
Don't
kill me, Abimbola. The proofs that we found along the way for the FailProof podcast.
So it was, I think the first one was just the sheer number of people that were discussing or telling me about their failures. So people came in my DMs and were like, okay, so I'd done a survey right after that, and I was asking people, what have you failed at? And I genuinely, because I know Nigerians don't like talking about this topic, right? It's usually something that people stay away from. I didn't expect so many people to come to say, I failed at relationships, I failed in love.
Oh yeah, you had options.
Yeah, so I was like,
relationships, school, career, all of the above.
And some people, and the most voted was all of the above. So many people had failed at all. And I'm like, okay, how do you, because people now started to tell me their stories. I'm like, I wish there was a way I could help you beyond just saying, I'm so sorry for you. Because again, if I wanted to help you, the best way to help you would have been to have prepared your mind for this failure to know that it's not
the end of
it's not the end. Like it's the road to something.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, and then that was maybe when, so people came and say, oh, you should start a podcast. You start a podcast. I'm like, I'm not going to start a podcast. And I think it was when you came and you broke it down. And I think I began to see a bit more depth. And then we started to realize that failure is actually very stigmatized here.
It is.
Like it's like a plague. And if you study the story of successful people or countries or men or organizations, they came from a long line of failure.
You know, I have this philosophy, and since we've been talking, there's been so many patterns of failure. I have this philosophy that what we call failure is just normal life. And what we call success are like the big sparks that happen. So for example, I want to write a book. It takes me 7 years to write my book. Are we going to say the 7 years that I did not write the book, I was failing to write the book? And then when my book now comes out and it blows, maybe 2-3 months, there's a splash. Then the next thing is me failing to write my second book. When in essence, it was just the normal process. I feel like what we call failure is just an inevitable part of life. It's just the road to where you were going. But we are so ashamed and so afraid to tell people that I am going through a process. Because I don't know if my process will end where I said it to end. So I don't want to promise you and say, Tiba 35, I'm going to be a billionaire. Meanwhile, I got to be 35 and living in my father's house. But like, do you get?
And it's I think it's the part where it's okay to embrace it in the moment. So for example, I can bet that a lot of you watching us today, you would have had platforms in the past where you would have been able to speak to maybe a group of people. Could have been 3, 4, 500 people. And then there's something telling you inside that you've not gotten to a place where you can speak.
Because what do you have?
Because what do you have? Like what success have you?
What do you have to show for it?
Exactly.
Ooh, what's the proof? Goes back to the whole FailProof.
Yeah, because I mean, before we started recording, right, I was talking to Abimbola about a popular Yoruba saying where they say a child can have a lot of new clothes, but it cannot have as many rags as an old person will. So a child can tell you maybe, okay, one way to succeed, something that he has done to succeed. But an adult can tell you 99 ways not to do it.
Yeah.
Right? An adult that is not seemingly successful can tell you 99 ways not to do it. So it's okay to own it in the moment and to be able to open up about it.
Yeah.
To be able to discuss your failures even before you succeed.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to, and that's what, I mean, I think that is what we are creating, right? We're trying to change what failure means in the minds of young Africans or in the minds of Nigerians, right?
Yeah.
In the minds of everyone that listens to this podcast.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a good place to just put out a disclaimer that this is not us figured out. This is literally us saying we've noticed the problem with the feelings associated with failure.
Yeah.
You know, if you tell someone I'm talking about failure, already there's sadness, there's a lot of... So we just saw that gap and we're like, you know what? We're going to take this as an experiment on failure. We just want to open up a conversation on it. We just want a safe space where people, whatever it means to you, we want to deconstruct what that means and let's see what comes out of it. Because I feel like it would be such a shame to miss out on a concept that applies to 100% of the human population. So we all know it. We all experience it. We all feel it. We pass through it. But we all do not allow ourselves to talk about it. So how much of ourselves are we hiding?
Very good question. Very good question. And I mean, if we look at the numbers, how many people by our definition of success, what percentage of people actually succeed? So someone was saying, I was having a chat with a friend and we're talking about how many musicians actually blow. So you have, for example, you have musicians today that are in the studio, they are grinding they are sleeping. I mean, when these guys eventually succeed, they usually come back and tell these stories, but somehow they never say it while they are going through it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever comes and says, I'm a struggling music artist, and this is what I'm doing currently, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get here. These are the mistakes that I've made that I can tell you guys who are trying to be like these big guys that, okay, so maybe if you have a change of mindset from trying to blow to trying to do something good for your audience, maybe that can move you closer to success. Nobody comes out to say that.
Absolutely.
And then how many, like I can't even count the number of people I've spoken to that thought that they had a music career, that thought that they were going to blow, and then they lived their entire life holding that hope. They never blew. But they never at the same time enjoyed the journey.
On this note, I just wanted to clarify two things. No, one thing. I noticed that the way you think about this, I mean, the purpose of this for you, just drawing from what you're saying, is mostly around helping people to know that there are other ways to succeed. Right? So for you, it's important that you don't stick to only that one route, but like you explore the 99, because maybe if you do things differently, you will get this. For me, I want you to fail with your full chest and be comfortable with it. I'm saying, even if you never ever amount to what you think you should. Even though. Our Instagram thing is you failed, and so what? And so what? And so freaking what? Because even if you never do, that ability to separate your identity from the doing, who you are is not what you do. So if what you do does not turn out to be good, and then God still felt you're cool to be created, I'm not saying this is like legitimacy to be lazy and be useless, but I think we need to just tip the scales a little bit. There's so much pressure to do and to do perfectly. And I mean, just to pick on that. So you say, if we look at the percentage of people that succeed and the people that don't actually make up a large majority. There's like 5 million people to one whiskey, or 5 million upcoming artists to one whiskey. So the collective lives or the purpose of those 5 million people, I'm sorry, to God or to even us, it's more important than one whiskey. So if we are always going to be on that, and you mentioned something around what is the end goal? What is the destination? What is the destination? So where are we going? So the destination is... You write your first book.
You publish your first book.
You get a Nobel Prize.
And then usually the destination is usually shorter than the journey.
Bro.
So if you spend your time waiting on that
destination before you enjoy yourself, then, especially if you are Nigerian, oh
my God,
if you not die,
you are literally going to live a miserable life because you will spend a longer time on the journey. Because again, being born in Africa already sets you back, right? If you compare your life to
the quality of your daily life,
you are already set back, right? If you compare yourself to to the European counterparts, your counterparts in the West.
But we have food. I think they are backwards in food.
Yes.
Because I don't know any one of them that can sit down and go and buy a mala and eat.
No, they can't. They can. That one, at least we can console ourselves. But career-wise, though,
no,
you're kind of already behind. So our journey is longer. Like the average African discovers himself. I mean, some Africans never discover themselves till they die. But the average African or educated African discovers himself at age 39, 40.
Really?
Oh, yes. That's when you truly know what you want to do. So all the while you've been doing what you needed to do. What you needed to survive. So you go to the school you need to go that is available, that your parents can afford. You get the degree that you need to study so that you can make money. You find wife. You work in a bank just so that you can. Right. So you truly actually find yourself that, this is what I think my purpose is. You find it very late. So you're already kind of behind. What that means is our journey to purpose is longer. So if you spend your time waiting to be happy when you have all the boxes ticked.
Boxes being those big big splashes.
You graduated with the first class. You bought your first car. You got your first house. Okay, so what about the journey?
In between.
What about the in-betweens? And that's the essence. For people to be comfortable about talking about the journey, which I think is the destination. The journey itself is the destination. The process is the destination. So that people can learn to be happy
with who they are.
And because again, there is no industry, there's no man, there's no country, there's no empire that succeeded without previous failures. There's none.
You know, this thing that you're saying, I wrote, so this is not a whatever. I'm an academic, but like I'm cool. So whatever documents.
Just putting it out there.
Cool. I'm cool. Like if you cannot tell by now, I don't even know how to help you. So I wrote here, I reckon that the entire earth and its systems depend on repeated patterns of failure. A tree fails to shoot up until it does.
I think we can end the episode.
While it takes root downwards, what do we see? A baby fails to walk until it does. While it rolls, crawls, and falls on its butt, what do we see?
Wow.
Jesus failed to save until he did. While he hung on the cross, what did we see?
I like that one.
Could it then be that the way we think about failure, our very definition of failure is faulty?
It's faulty. I think it is. I mean, we Googled
the definition of failure,
and then it was 3 words.
Lack of success.
That is so profound. And it was 3 words.
And imagine a society where we've defined success in such restricted terms.
Yeah.
You now go to meet a 68-year-old head teacher somewhere, and you present to them and say failure is lack of success. And then they look at the definition of society. If I'm successful, I should own a house, I should own a car, I should have this, I should have that. That person has just called them. Like they've just put themselves, I am a failure.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes. I think the definition of success is that you keep trying. For me, I think that's it. I think that if the forces of nature, right, know that there's no way that I can knock this man down.
Yeah.
I think you've succeeded. I think, and it's not just career or business. I think it's in love, it's in relationships, it's in marriages. It's in, you
keep saying even though.
I will go again. I'll build a new well. Okay, block the last
one. When someone offends you, you keep choosing to be kind.
Yeah.
You keep choosing to believe in people.
Because again, sorry to be very biblical. We are Christians.
We're not sorry,
but
actually.
Look at Jesus. Look at the way he loves, or the way he loved.
Yeah.
He was, the people he was dying for were literally throwing stones at him. And it was like, and you can tell that he felt all the human emotions at that point, because it was like, if this cross can pass over me, I'm not going to mind it. Right? But even though, I will still try. And I think that's it. I think if you can keep getting up and showing up as a father, showing up as a brother, showing up as a husband, as a wife, showing up at your place of work, right? If the forces of nature can not knock you down, I think that you are a success. And I think that we should be able to celebrate and talk about that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If I know a man today that can tell me one way he has succeeded, and I know another man that can tell me 99 ways he has failed, I'll probably listen to the guy that will tell me 99 ways.
I feel more comfortable with him anyway. Yes. There's less pressure. He's more human. And
he validates the fact that it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still alive. Like, if I feel 99 times and I'm talking to
honestly,
you, I'm still alive.
You know, I think it's a good place for us to talk about the questions we hope this podcast will help us, ask. Again, experiment on failure. We do not have the answers. All we have are questions.
Yeah.
And we are going to be having people on
Yes,
board
I'm very
that will
excited.
they'll come and just tell us their own take, how they failed and whatever. We want people to interrogate how they define. So you've just given a very beautiful definition of success, how they define success, how they define failures. And our goal is simple. We want to redefine failure.
Yeah.
We want someone to be able to say, guy, what did you fail at today? Be like, bro, I tried to ride a bike. I failed 7 times. Nice. And that's it.
And are you going to try again tomorrow?
Of course. Just removing that cage, right? So we want to redefine failure. We want to rethink the negative feelings that we often associate with failing.
Yeah.
We want people to know that being is enough, trying is enough, failing is enough, who you are is enough. You have nothing to prove. Like, to the point where you are hiding your... Please, it's not that deep. We want people to embrace, we want to situate and establish failure periods and success moments as not opposites, but as complementary. That definition then is wrong. You cannot say failure is the lack of success.
Yes.
Failure is the road
It is
to success. Failure.
They are guys.
Go no. Failure and success.
I swear they are guys.
It's both of them.
I swear they are twins. Two twins.
They're two twins. And then we want people to embrace the failure period. Again, when we use the word failure, I want us to start thinking of it like, this is not a shaming thing.
Yep.
We're trying to use it so much that we've removed the shame from it. So failure periods in quotes, after a while we'll stop using the quotes. I want people to embrace them and know that this is a lengthier portion of your life. So if you can apply more grace to enjoy that, how much more will you enjoy the success?
The successes. The successes.
Bro. And finally, we want to share examples of failure stories to encourage others to just be, to fail, and by conventional and unconventional definitions succeed. Just day, basically.
Just day.
If you were wondering where, like, FailProof pod, explain it, I don't get it, I'm going to give it to you. So, failure itself is fail-proof because there is success inside failure. It depends on who's looking and from where. If you're not grabbing on by now, I'm sorry if I come across as arrogant. I'm not trying to. No. It's just, am I
arrogant? No.
It's just, I'm wearing my glasses. I have my computer. I'm feeling academic. So, like, one of my life goals, I won't lie. Like, I want to be a professor and I want my children to call me prof.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. I don't want them to be. I think, yes, when they're growing up, they'll call me mommy. But, like, at a certain point, I'll just be like, prof, one lay. She gets. Like,
I want to feel like have you got, who did you call prof? Who did you? I want to feel like that might have happened to you.
Yes, there is somebody that we scope. It was a man. His children refer to him as prof. Like, and
it was someone you looked up to?
Someone I still look up to, So it's a great man. But anyway, I want to be prof. So sometimes my profness is already been... A prof will not lose our words, but I'm getting there. Even though the only way to truly be fail-proof or successful is to actually fail. So show me your proof of failure and I'll show you that you're fail-proof.
What?
Also, how do you test if something is fail-proof?
If it has not already failed.
If it has not already failed several times. You know when they say tempered glass?
Before it became
tempered. What?
Like, it was broken a lot of times.
So, and they kept breaking until they realized, this is the capacity that we can call tempered. So, the fail-proof is getting us to realize that our failure now, in quotes, they're the proof of our life, of our trying, of our being, of our attempting, of our succeeding. But also, we can become fail-proof by being more comfortable. So, welcome to this experiment on failure.
You're welcome.
Pa. Hashtag.
Hashtag agency.
Hashtag it's our. So,
inside joke. Very inside.
One day, I think we will explain it at some point.
We'll explain the joke. So,
if you
swear,
you know.
Pa is very funny.
It is.
I swear to God, we embarrassed ourselves on the street of it was
France. It was Paris.
It was Paris. He was just wait for them. So we'll explain.
Watch out for this. So we've told you the story behind it and everything. We hope you see a lot of value in the conversations we're going to be having. Also, we have like good stuff planned for you. Watch out for quotes that turn your head upside down. First of all, failure is an acceptable option. No, the number one is you failed, and so what?
And so what? So what?
Who died?
Who hasn't failed before?
Bro.
Who? You know when our
even Jesus, did they not hang you?
The guy wanted to give up.
Think of Lazarus. When Lazarus died, Jesus did what?
He wept.
He wept.
He wept. So at that point, he must have, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to misquote the Bible, but
He must
whatever
have
makes
felt-
you cry means that you must have felt defeated.
Yeah.
That, oh, this is my guy.
Yeah.
My guy should not be dying.
If he wasn't acknowledging the negative feelings, we cannot say, oh, he knew he was gonna raise him and then whatever. Because if you know he's alive, you won't cry. Like
Yup.
you
Yup.
know, he
Yup.
felt the reality of it.
Yup.
So there's literally no. I'm sorry, I have another Boston head one.
Oh, yeah.
When I think it was you who told me, when God created Adam and Eve and they messed up, was that not a failure? Jesus was not backup plan.
So in the conventional, yes, it was. And obviously, you don't have a backup plan for your success. You're not like, you're like, oh,
I succeeded. However, let me do it differently.
No. So I think in the true, and again, forgive us, right? If we keep using failure in a way that it seems like it's contradictory.
Yeah.
There's what the meaning is today.
But
there's
then there
what
is
we are
what
trying
we
to
think
transform
you should,
it, in your mind. So forgive us. But when we say that God experienced failure, we mean that he experienced a setback.
Yes.
But did he stop trying to win your heart back? No. So like one plan failed, he had a backup plan.
Yeah.
He had a backup plan.
Yeah, if that had failed, he would have had another.
Yeah. So
I mean, Noah. So
all the funny thing is all the people we look up to have documented records of setbacks. Maybe that's a more
even not just setbacks, slowdowns.
Yeah.
And sometimes slowdowns are not bad because they prevent you from getting where you're going. Sometimes they are good because they force you to enjoy the present.
Yep. They kind of regulate you too.
They regulate
you.
What?
Take it away. And when we're defining success, right, for this podcast, we said if because of this podcast, one person can choose to confront a fear that they would not have done without this, then we've succeeded.
We're good.
So we're good. We can literally close shop and go home. So one person is who we are looking to inspire. And this transcends business,
relationships.
There are people that have failed at relationships and don't even want to try. They're like, oh, I messed up so bad.
They're hiding their face because they made a mistake. Like, who has not made a mistake? So it's So
that's it. And if we've spoken a lot about the Bible and Jesus and even in church, right?
Yeah.
I think even like for different religions, it's almost like failure is stigmatized. It's like it's forbidden. Like you hear people pray that, oh, you will never
Jesus
fail. You will not fail. But every spirit of failure.
Please, that your analogy of like if you're going to Computer Village, I need you to.
So you are going to Computer Village, right? And maybe there are two routes that lead to Computer Village. There's probably Mbolaji Bank Anthony. There's Allen.
If you don't live in Lagos, I am so sorry for you.
Apologies. That means if you don't live in Lagos, that means your life is probably good. Because
I was going to say, oh man.
That means you are probably healthy, right? So like there are two. Those are two roads that lead to Computer Village, right? And I see those two roads as what the world calls failure today, right? So Computer Village is your success point, and if you don't pass through those roads, you don't get to CV. You don't buy your iPhone.
Oh my God! Did you just call Computer Village CV?
CV, yeah.
Is that what people say?
Yeah. She lives in Abuja. She's an Abuja.
No, listen, don't. Listen, I claim Lagos.
Yeah, she claims Lagos, but like it's the other side, is the rich part of Lagos.
Oh, CV, that's so cool.
So like if you don't go through, and if you hear the true stories again, there are stories that people paint. There's a facade that you see on people's Instagrams that it looks like from your first post.
I woke up like this.
You're already wearing a nice suit and looking fine with your.
It's my jeans. It's in my jeans.
Black don't crack. It's been tough and it's been rough, and it's okay for us to, and I think that this mindset can transform us as people, can transform who we become as parents, can transform who we are as siblings, right? I think can transform our nation.
And just going back to your CV, now I say CV. Going back to your CV analogy, now we've established that the only 2 ways to get to CV is Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way or like what was the other one? Allen Avenue. But you refuse to take those 2. Why? Because you went to church. Oh God, I'm sorry, and you're like, you will not fail. You will never fail. Meanwhile, they're saying you will never pass Allen. You will never pass. How do you not want to do it? So very rent helicopter, ne? So now the energy that you would have just used to just pass the Allen. Or just walk through the Mobolaji Bank. You will now expend more, reaching for things that are not necessary because you've deemed failure as an evitable. Is that the opposite of inevitable?
I've never heard that, but probably if you remove the in.
You've deemed it as an evitable part of the journey when in fact it was inevitable. Some things are just uncomfortable, yes. But like if it's inevitable, just get to CV.
I mean that's what I want to drive home. Failure is a necessary or setbacks, maybe. But the reason we are going to use them in
failure is because people that's what we're targeting.
Exactly. That's the trend today. We're like, I had it. Nobody comes here and says, I had a setback in my last relationship.
You respect them. You be like, so mature.
Yeah. So it's people use those words
fail
wrongly. So and that's why even on this podcast you will catch us sleeping sometimes, right? But like failure is a necessary part of success. And anyone that if you have ever spoken to her, what to do?
Whatever. I wanted to just go past it.
No, I have to call myself back. What to do is very, again, pardon me to digress, our ancestors are so, why can't they just let you go?
Because they're running.
It's been long that he held me like that. I was like, it's been a while. No, I'm like, maybe this guy has left.
This is a stamp of approval.
That, I'm still here.
It's like, I want me right, love. No. I approve this.
God, I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh wow. Yeah, God.
Thanks, Odudua.
Yeah. So like I think what I was trying to say is if you ever had a honest conversation with someone who has succeeded, they can tell you they probably failed more. Right? Yeah. You can see that one shiny one, the one that's presentable on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right. But before you get to that, you have to fall a lot of times. Yeah. You have to fail a lot. And we want you guys to be comfortable in your skin. We want you guys to be able to say, okay, I failed. And so what? And then I think the end goal is that you can even inspire other people to not make the mistakes you made. So I was talking to a friend about a business she wanted to start. And I enjoy helping people start businesses. You don't need to pay me. Just tell me you have an idea. I will
domain name.
I'll find you domain name. I'll find you business name. I would connect you to importers in China. I would do literally
AliExpress.
Another episode.
Will we get there?
We'll get there. So like I was talking business with this person and I've lost my train of thought.
A business she wanted to start.
That she wanted to start. Abi.
If you find it,
I'll
just call us back. So we've done a great introduction as to like the background, what birthed this, and what we hope to do.
Yeah.
So do we have any call to action for our people?
Do we want
anything?
So we have a few people that are going to be speaking in the coming weeks, dropping videos, dropping quotes, kind of just
sharing their failure stories.
Yeah, sharing their. I mean, and failure around relationships, love, marriage.
I have a friend that was like, Abimbola invites me to come. I want to talk about my ex. It's the biggest failure of my life. I don't want to talk about that.
It's a
I'm like, bro. You will come. You will come.
He's the biggest failure. That's
easy.
In a human. So this failure that is alive, he's breathing and walking.
Biggest failure of my life.
We'll have a lot of interesting episodes. I mean, some are I believe that some are going to be very emotional because then it'll probably be the first time that many of them are talking about it.
Yeah.
Publicly and even sharing it. So it will be exciting. And then for those of you who might watch this and you feel like coming up to say something, please feel free. There will be a link in our bio and just click on the link. fill the form
Send
and
us
then
a
we'll reach out
DM.
to you. Send us
Send
a
DM.
DM.
You know what I just realized? What we are doing now is a call for not success stories. We're not saying
if you've succeeded, nice
if you've
for
succeeded. I mean,
Good.
sorry, shout out. So many people like focus on you already. Be good. So we're
you
not
already
saying,
have attention.
guys, please. We're not saying if you are 40 under 40, send us a story. We're saying if you failed.
Yeah.
And we want you to know that even us that was in here, we started ourselves. We've baje.
Like mad.
Like, bro.
Like
So
mad.
it's you don't have to feel. I'm trying to say that it applies to every single one of us.
Yeah.
You are not left out.
Yeah. So if you failed, right?
Catastrophically or smallly.
If you are currently failing,
or you're about to go and fail.
Or you're about to fail. Or you failed before and then you succeeded after. Or you failed before you succeeded, you are failing again.
If you've had any relationship with failure,
yes,
as conventionally defined.
With failure as a concept or failure as a person. Relationship. Because I'm your friend, it's failure as
if you have exes who are failures,
please come.
Get into us, slide into our DM.
Please let us know.
Because like I was saying at some point in this, there are two big things here. One, which is Dipo's position. He wants people to be able to try again because there are many routes to get into where you want to. I just want you to be chill with where you are.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that you are in company. Oh, do you know what I was thinking as you were talking? You know how like Forbes under 40 successful people have like their own elite club?
Maybe
what if we have like the losers club? No, seriously. Because
like top. So this is how we're going to rank that. If you feel that like
a million billion times
more than 30 businesses before the age of 30.
VVIP.
That's 30 under 30. But if you've now done more than 40, that's 40 under 40. That's how I'm
That makes so much sense to me because it means I'm going to try more.
Yeah. And well, you might never be 30 under 30 because you might just stumble on your next success before you're 30, right? But it keeps you trying.
But the goal is to reach the 30.
So again, we also carry this idea that once you hit your first success,
you are not permitted to fail again.
Oh my God, you will, my brother. You will, my sister.
Fail.
Like it is something that we have to. It is part of
life.
Us. Like your first success does not guarantee that. Oh, once I succeed at one business, you're going to fail at other businesses.
I'm sorry, I do feel that sometimes success even diminishes
growth.
Yes, it diminishes the juice you get out of life's experiences.
I think what you just said is so profound. Why? Because if you look at it, if you spend
you're busting your own head right now.
So there was a mango tree on our way back from school. And I mean, we're children, so we're all short little children, and then we would throw stones at this mango tree. And the way we would approach the first one that comes down after a long trial is even from the way I saw mango trees out when my uncle had one in his compound. He was always outside. So I didn't need to try hard. I could just, I was older, I was taller.
It was there.
It was just there. But like, I appreciated it more after like trying for so long, after stoning it and trying to hit it. And I think it boils down to like when you try to get something and you go through a process and you eventually get it, I think that you appreciate, you
the
put in more.
satisfaction from it. Going back to what you said about, it's not about the destination, it's the journey.
It's the journey.
Would you rather truly juice out the journey or live a bland life and just juice out
for those moments,
sparks?
Just tiny
Once
moments.
in a while, when you're 32, to be first child, sparks.
Yeah.
To be 37, second child, sparks.
Yeah.
Or do you want to truly... And to be honest, it's a difficult thing because engaging with the journey means embracing the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
Good times will come.
Yeah.
Bad times will come. Devastating times will come.
Yeah.
Unbelievable times will come. But like, are we reckoning that they are all part of the journey?
Yeah.
Whether we call them failure or not?
And then can we stop asking God why you? Because it's a part of your life.
Bro,
because why not?
Even God suffered for crying out loud. Like, that's just how it is.
So it's not... I mean, when people succeed, they're not like, oh God, why me? But again, we know that
of course it's me.
Yeah.
I'm God's
like,
favorite.
You deserve...
Small girl, big God.
So it's I think just sitting down and accepting that failure is a part of my journey.
Life.
It's a part of life. It's a part of, and I need to embrace it. I need to enjoy it. And I need to be inspired by and inspire people
To
through
fail.
my stereo.
To try.
So
Whether it leads to failure or not.
It's a powerful place to be. And I think it can transform everything that we are, everything that we represent as people, as families, as businesses, as a country. I think that it can transform a lot.
Yeah. Just the willingness to try.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
To say even though. I think
yeah.
some phrases will be very common in this. Even though you failed and so what? I mean, like, because who cares? Nobody died. Did you die?
You died. You dead?
No.
Now that you feel
you
that
have data. That's why you're even watching this. So this has been. I have enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Like
Same here.
And I'm so eager to see what people think.
Yeah.
Is this a worthwhile conversation you'd like to plug into?
Exactly. And if again we are like
we're open. We're flexible.
So if there's something that you
disagree with,
or something that we've said wrong, or something that we've not done
we're happy to fail
on this episode. Please point out the failure. Please. And then definitely will change. So and then we're not going out with this expecting that all our ideas are well placed. So again, don't put us on that pedestal where you feel like
we're not thought leaders.
No, we're not.
We're people with plenty of questions.
I'm not reading.
Also, I'm lazy. So maybe that's why I'm very happy to be like, we won't fail. So extra million.
As in,
maybe that's why. God knows all I want is a godly, generous billionaire to come and take all my problems away. If you, bro, and it's gonna happen. My billionaire is here.
He's here already, sir.
He's here. So maybe that's what's fueling this. So feel free to attack, dismantle, deconstruct, discombobulate.
Yeah.
It's all cool. We also want to be more comfortable with the concept of failure.
Yeah.
So a win is a win.
Yep.
A win is a win.
I mean, this also boils down to people that succeed also struggling with that initial what's the name of that syndrome?
Imposter syndrome.
So you also when you get to that point where you've done something notable because you had an expectation. I mean, right? You had an expectation that this is what I will count as notable. Is until I sing in front of a crowd in France. But you just sang in front of your friends, right? And you should count that as well. But you feel like, you're not enough, right? And
it's so grandiose. Our plans are just foolish. They're empty. I feel like going back to the words of Solomon, what vanity, pure vanity upon vanity, utter rubbish. Because who is in France? I don't want France to have money problems. Do you think they have joy? They don't have joy.
I think so yes.
Guys,
so that trip, we had a conversation again on that trip to say if the representation of the West or the Western culture is where Africa is trying to get to,
then we will not be happy.
Those guys, I'm sorry, but like,
there's joy. I see somebody did not have amala, somebody did not have spices. Kosi Maggi, Kosi curry one time.
There's no life on this. It was better in Barcelona. Like
it was much better.
People laughing.
Rome too was more active. Lisbon too was. Should read Paris.
Oh my God. No. If that is where we want to get to before we start to celebrate ourselves, then I'm sorry. That end game is not what I want to be as a black man. It's not what I think.
So as a nation, as a continent, we still need to interrogate what we call failure. Yeah. And I know, we've talked about like having a series on Nigeria.
Nigeria itself.
We need to what do we think failure is? And also, what are we targeting as the success?
Yeah.
Because maybe then we'll just chill out and like go in another direction. Yeah. Because people are shallow. I want to debate. They don't have joy.
They don't. So
it's a raw snail.
And I think it boils down back to the people.
Yeah.
So if what we define as success changes
as a community,
so it influences whatever business you build defines as success. It influences what the local government and the states and define as success. So it can.
The power is in your hands. You are powerful. You are powerful. So please slide into our DMs.
Please
it's open.
come say something. It's
You
not.
know?
It's not even serious. It's like we're just gonna have a chat
Yeah.
with you. That's
We just
all.
want to know. So, oh my gosh, thank you. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you,
Really good.
Agent
Really,
Dips.
really good. Thank
It's
you.
been
Abimbola.
fantastic. Yeah, this is the Beninginning. Another Beninginning. Follow us on
We're everywhere.
Instagram. Yeah, like, subscribe on YouTube.
Yep.
And every other platform that
TikTok,
you see.
Twitter.
Yeah.
We'll display our handle,
everything
so
is
you
going
can
to be
follow us.
there.
Please subscribe, share with your friends.
Yes.
And because I know that, like, if there was ever an audience for this kind of conversation, we'll probably have the most, because
it applies to all of us. It touches all of us. It touches all of us. It touches all of us. And so I think the first few people to come are the real heroes, because they will be setting the pace.
Yeah.
But like, hopefully that proves to you that you're not alone.
Yeah.
You failed, and so freaking what?
Yeah.
If you look in our bio, we share stories. So welcome to the club. We're all the same. And we're all, we're cool. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We hope you've had fun.
Thank you for watching.
We hope we've not bored you with our philosophical.
If we have, just tell us in the comments.
That's another issue. Call us out. And we'll just be like,
drag
okay,
us.
and then
we will not be the last. We'll not be the first or the last.
I'm a generator to Aleko. That's a drag. And they continue like.
So again, it's an experiment. So we'll go through it. I think that we'll find examples even on this journey.
Absolutely.
We'll find
I look forward to it.
Occurrences. So
I look forward to it.
Thank you again.
And I can just imagine us in a few years watching this episode and saying,
maybe after we've got it like maybe 100, 200,
100 billion. Hello, billion. Guy, billion is my favorite number. I love billion in currency, in every. I just love.
Are you sure it's not because
billion.
of devaluation? Devaluation has made million already. But yeah, that's a story for another day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for, if you were able to watch this video
till the end, you're the real MVP.
Thank you for giving us your time.
Yay.
And we hope that
we'll see you next time, right?
Yeah, see you next time. Should we have like
a sign out? Maybe, wait, 3 things we've said. Did you die? Even though you failed, and so what? Should I?
We'll discuss.
Or like
that.
a hashtag.
If you have any sign out. She's very cool.
Bro, as you can see.
Cool,
sorry, let me with my glasses. Peace out. No, please.
Like 30 plus.
Peace out.
Peace out, like pizza hot. Peace out. No. Oduduwa will not be our sign up. Oduduwa will not have this.
It will not have the final say.
He will not. He will not.
We'll think about this.
Yeah,
again, experiment on failure. Why? So now, a teachable moment. We failed to find a sign out right now. Did we die?
No. But we will try again tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. And this is literally the beginning.